Hey guys, it's Emily and today I'm going to review Rooms by Lauren Oliver. And I finished this on Christmas vacation. I really enjoyed this book. A man named Richard Walker has died. The Walker family is left to rummage through all of his belongings that are left in his house. His divorced wife, his grown-up daughter Mina, and her daughter Amy, along with Mina's younger brother Trent. Minna and Trenton, sorry. Little do they know much about the family that lived there before, which is Alice and Sandra, or Sandra. They are watching over the Walkers as they are living in the house temporarily. A really cool aspect is this is kind of like The Lovely Bones by Alice Sebold in a way that it's like they're watching over the present world before them. When I began reading Rooms, it was kind of difficult to get caught in it. Like, you know, like when you kind of have a hard time getting caught up in a book. After like the first couple, I mean like it's divided into parts. After the first part I got through, then I was just completely addicted. I had to be reading. Like I would read this really late at night too, and I finished it from the start of the vacation that I had, which was like a month. And then by the end of it, like I was always like doing something else, like, you know, Christmassy stuff, so I didn't have a lot of time, but I finished it by the end of the holidays. So yeah, I was very caught up in it by the end of the book, and I loved it. I think I finished it Christmas night. Anyway, I don't want to give too much away because this is a pretty small book, but I will say that this is a brilliant novel, and I love Lauren Oliver's writing so much. It's so different from her young adult novels, so if you are a young reader and you're about 13 to like, I guess 16 or so, maybe you should hold off on reading this until later on, you know, when you're a little bit older, because it is kind of graphic and very different from like Delirium and Before I Fall and even Panic. So yes, it is an adult novel, so it is very much different. Like she was able to go different ways with this book. But anyway, if you are a younger reader, maybe you should hold off on reading this until you are a little bit older and you can understand everything and, you know, enjoy everything in this book, because you don't want to be confused when you're reading it, because, you know, that's not very fun and you're not going to get the whole story. So yes, that's all I have to say. It's like a little disclaimer. I'm going to go into spoiler mode in a few seconds here, so if you have not read the book, I ask you to please don't be spoiled. Just come back when you've read the book, and that way I won't be the one who spoils it for you, because I don't want to be that person. Thank you, and I'll see you later. I took some notes while I was reading the book, and this is more of a book talk, like a discussion, than a review, but I will go into a little review thing. So the ghosts living in Richard Walker's house are invisible unless they cannot control themselves, which is very interesting. As you know, like Trenton saw the new ghost in the house, and that's what kind of like brought the whole like living and dead into play, like the interactions between them, which is really cool. I really love how the ghosts are the sounds throughout the house, like when they're talking, or if they have like these like major feels or whatever, then that's like the creaking in the staircase or something, you know? Like it's so cool, and I was so excited when I read what it's about and I read that part of it. And then sometimes Trenton heard like real words. He heard Sandra say, oh, he's not gonna do it. Like he won't kill himself when he was planning it out, or like he was about to kill himself, and they were like, oh, he's not gonna do it. He actually heard. I had so much sympathy for Trenton, not too much at the beginning, but then when you see like he is like planning on killing himself, I didn't think he would, and it's just so sad. And like it was cool to see that he had a friend, and I was hoping he would like open up to her, because he was kind of alone. He had an older sister and she was kind of rude. They were rude to each other. That's how their relationship was. So he didn't really have anyone to talk to, especially with his mom, you know. She's going through her own problems, and yeah, it was kind of crazy. I didn't really like Minna because she was kind of like sex obsessed, and she was kind of obsessive over like, you know, romance and stuff like that. Not really romance, but, you know, like lust. Yeah, I didn't really like her because she was rude to Trenton. She wouldn't listen to him, so I feel like she wasn't a very good person, not a very good sister to him. But I mean, there were parts where you could see that she really did care. And the point of view is like all main characters, including the walkers and the two ghosts, Sandra and Alice. And I think that's really cool. A lot of authors want to explore the subjective point of view part of literature, and a lot of books these days are told in different points of view. Like every other chapter, like Lauren Oliver's done this before, every other chapter in Requiem is Hannah and Lena, and then also in Panic then it's between Hodge and Heather. But yeah, so the points of view go from Alice, Sandra, Minna, Amy, even Amy's in it and she's 5, Caroline and Trenton, and I loved the different points of view because everyone's so different. And you could see like with Alice and Sandra you get more of their history and their lives before they died in the house, and they're like kind of like their backstories where you can see why they are the way that they are now. There were some like major feels, like I was crying at this book. Lauren Oliver has been praised for her amazing writing style and her poetic way of describing just random things, surroundings and stuff like that. One of my favorite quotes was, "This is how we grow, not up, but out, like trees swelling to encompass all these stories, the promises and lies and bribes and habits." I love this quote. Like when I first read it I was like, whoa, because like it really explains like how they grew up and their lives in the house. I guess we all have some of these memories, like artillery shell fired at close range. When I read Panic, I cared for the characters, but not as much as I did in Delirium and Before I Fall. And I found myself forgetting that this was a Lauren Oliver book because of how mature it was. That's why I gave that little disclaimer warning type thing at the beginning, because, you know, a lot of people might think, oh, it's another Lauren Oliver book, I gotta buy it and read it right now. I'm 13. You know, I don't want anyone to do that because then they're gonna be like, what? And then I made these like little notes while I was reading at like 3 in the morning. I say, "Mind was blown when the Adrian that shows up was not the Adrian Caroline kept calling on the phone." I was determined that it was, and it wasn't, and I got so scared and I was like, ah. Mind even more blown when Eva was revealed as the daughter of Adrian and Richard. And Adrian sent Richard letters and hair from her daughter, but they only knew each other from when Eva was conceived. And Trenton and Vivian, I ship it. Minna equals character development. Hashtag everyone though. Caroline was getting cray, and I got a little worried. Eva's death. Same car accident as Trenton. And then I put hashtag plot twist ×3 because there were about 3 plot twists in the same few chapters and I was kind of going crazy. But I mean, plot twist wise, this book is amazing. Like I love this book because of that. I think that Lauren Oliver has done such a good job. I gave it 5 stars on Goodreads. I totally want to read it again sometime. I really can't wait for whenever Lauren Oliver wants to write another adult novel because this one was so good, and I know that young adult is her main thing, and I can't wait for Vanishing Girls. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll be back with another one soon. Bye! I guess we all have some of these memories, like artillery. I guess we all have some of these, like, and the new ghost owner. What? Adrian sent Richard letters, pics. So if you want to read my Goodreads review, I don't think I made one.